So, welcome back, everyone. I am here. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to be back with another Tea and Talks show. So brilliantly excited and glad to bring on my wonderful guest on the show today. Her name is called Rose Radford. I'm so glad to have her with us. She is so inspiring. She's a global business strategist. She's a coach. She is a leader, a TEDx speaker. She helps six-figure women and just women in general to high-end women to have amazing businesses. We're going to be talking about entrepreneurship, how she consistently makes 20, 30K and beyond, how she helps her clients to do the same, how she got her TEDx talk, how she basically started her entrepreneurial journey, and how she went from being in the corporate world to being a woman in business. So thank you so much for being
here. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to dive into it.
Awesome, perfect. So I've got my tea. Have you got yours?
I've got a water bottle.
Exactly. I think, do you know what? Water is more healthy, and I'm so for water. So let's definitely start from the beginning. Tell me what made you decide to become an entrepreneur. What were you doing before, and what led you to jumping into this world?
Yeah, so I started about 3.5 years ago, and I was at McKinsey, which is a strategy consulting company. So I was a strategy consultant there, and I actually burnt out while I was working there. So I was on medical leave for 2 months, trying to figure out, do I go back? Do I do something else? And it was at that point that I discovered the online coaching world. I was like, what's this? I've never seen this before. Why is it that as children we're asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? But being a coach isn't one of the things that you think of saying, or being an online entrepreneur isn't something that you answer. But lo and behold, I discovered it at that stage. And what's really bizarre is that the work that I do now is obviously coaching and strategizing with female entrepreneurs. But I've been doing that since I was 19 years old. And I just didn't realize that it was possible to get paid for doing that. So I was doing this at university. I also went and lived in Kenya for 3 months and helped entrepreneurs out there, which was just so rewarding. And then when I discovered that you could actually turn this into a real business and really go and help entrepreneurs and build a business with that and impact more people, I was like, whoa, like I need to do this. This is so good. So then I worked on turning my unique brilliance, my strategy consulting background into a business itself.
Oh my goodness, that's so powerful. I've actually heard that so many women, or just entrepreneurs in general, before they launched their business, they had burned out. It happened to me too. Like I had my burnout experience as well. So I want to ask you a question. When you discovered the coaching world and when you went all in and just decided to grow this business, what did you do to ensure that you didn't have burnout again on your entrepreneurial journey?
Such a good question. Yeah, because I think as high achievers or type A personalities or people that are just like go, which sounds as though we both are, it's so easy to fall back into that burnout trap and be like, crap, like why do I feel like this again?
Yeah.
So, and I have to admit, there were certain instances in which I was like, uh-oh, I'm heading that way again. And just like learning to recognize the signs and the triggers and the things that mean I'm going that direction. I just need to rein it back. So really, it's almost like unlearning the patterns of going 100 miles an hour and learning what things give me energy and what drain me as well.
Oh my goodness, such a great answer, definitely. Thank you so much, because I know there's people watching here and they're like, oh my goodness, what if I make that same mistake in my business? So thank you. Okay, so another question I love to ask is, it's not every day that someone is able to make 20 grand a month, 20,000, 30,000, 40, 50, whatever it would be. It's not an everyday occurrence. There's some entrepreneurs that are making just like 2 to 3K a month, 5 or 6K a month. So what are the 3 top secrets that you found that's helped you to level up your business to the point where you can be bringing in, tens of thousands every month?
Such a juicy question. Okay, so I would say that the top couple of things to really move the needle towards creating real consistency in those 20, 30, even 50K months is to have very clear offers that are very scalable. So and simple. We just have 2 offers in my business. Yeah, I do a bit of one-on-one, but really there's 2 very simple offers that are very clear. And actually it makes your job a lot easier as a coach or an entrepreneur when you know you're only selling 2 things. Sometimes you need 1 thing to get to like 7 figures, right? And where I see a lot of mistakes being made for a lot of online entrepreneurs is they're releasing new things the whole time. They're launching a new offer, a coaching program, a course, something else
Right.
like every other month, and then they end up selling 5 different things. Now, if you're selling 5 different things, you need 5 different funnels and marketing strategies, and you're spreading your energy so thin across 5 things that actually it's really hard to scale that. So simplicity is key. Having very clear offers, just 1 or 2, maximum 3, total maximum 3. And then really looking at how can you create consistent sales every month. Now, what often happens in the online coaching industry is that we use a lot of launching to make sales, and what they can do is create very spiky revenue, right? You have like 100K month and then nothing the next month, or maybe 10K and that's it. And so what I really love doing is using an evergreen marketing model, which I also teach to clients, which allows them to sign 1 to 5 new clients every week. And so, I mean, even just signing 1 new client a week is a game changer for a lot of coaches, right? And having that really consistent evergreen model in place is so powerful versus the boom and bust of launching. So that'd be the other thing as well.
Wow, that is incredible. It's such a good point, because I remember even Amy Porterville talking about her offer. Like, she's just consistently selling, her program just over and over and over. And obviously she has about 2 or 3, a bit like what you're saying. And then she just sells them over and over and over. And, she's got I think it's the List Building Society. And then there's the other one, I think, is it called DCA? Or there is, what's the name of it? But I know the name normally, but for some reason it's come out my head. But yeah, basically just always selling her program on creating courses, and then the List Building Society. And I don't know if there's another one, but I just love that fact of just keep on promoting that same offer, make it better, just keep on bringing it right back out. I know Alex Beeden always promotes the School of Killer Impressions. She's always promoting Together We Launch, and just specific offers, and constantly promoting them and just making them better and just bringing them back out. And I think that so many entrepreneurs do have that the shiny, bright syndrome. What is it called? Oh my goodness. But
shiny object syndrome. Yes,
exactly. Today I'm like all over the place. But yeah, so I just love it, the fact that we don't have to keep on bringing up something new. And I think that's definitely something that I did in the beginning. I was always like, this thing and then this thing, but I love the fact of the relaunch and focus on that one product and keep on scaling with that 1, 2, or 3 products. So tell us about your products anyway. Tell us what they are like, the services, and how do you work with your clients in your offers?
Yeah, sure. So we have the Clarity and Clients Bootcamp, which is the lower ticket offer. It's really the best starting place. And that's where I teach you how to sign your first or next 3 to 5 high value clients one-on-one. So for a lot of newbie coaches or people wanting to pivot into coaching, the best place to start is go and sign some one-on-one clients and really let the rubber hit the road. So I teach you how to do that without Facebook ads in the Clarity and Clients Bootcamp. And then the second, my core offer that's more of the higher ticket offer, is my Freedom Accelerator. And that is where I teach you how to begin to scale. So we scale through launching that group coaching program, high ticket group coaching program, that you can then sell on evergreen year round and create that consistent income. So what I've done in my business over the last year or 2, I think we did 6 figures in just under 9 months from one group coaching program. And I sold it evergreen. I never launched it. And that's when I realized, it's a different way of doing business. And I kind of did it accidentally almost. I was like, okay, I'm just going to allow people to sign up, whatever. And I realized other people were running group coaching programs with launches and in cohorts and things that weren't quite working. So having tested the evergreen approach and really honed that, I started sharing that more with people. And then my audience and clients are coming towards me saying, I totally get the evergreen thing. I really want to do it. I don't want to do any more launching unless I want to launch for fun. So that was a real realization for me, which is exactly what we do inside the Freedom Accelerator.
Amazing. That sounds so good. Yeah, like the evergreen model is so needed. I mean, obviously there are some things that we might want to launch from time to time, but just knowing you have something you can sell over and over and over is brilliant. So thank you for sharing. If you're listening, take notes, because this is going to help you so much. And make sure you have a sip of your tea or your water or your coffee, whatever you have in front of you. Okay, so the next thing I'll say is just a quick note to all of you listening. Make sure you go and follow Rose, because there's some really good content that she has on her Instagram. So just take a moment to do that now. Grab your phone and just give her a bit of a follow on Instagram. So yeah, tell us, Rose, about your TEDx speech that you gave, the amazing presentation that you did, because I mean, it literally is a game changer, a very powerful thing to be able to speak on a TEDx stage. So how did this all happen? How did it all come into being? And then some of your other media appearances that you've had as well. Tell us about how you've just been able to leverage publicity.
Yeah, so the TEDx was a lot of fun and I'd wanted to do it for a little while, but you know how sometimes you set intentions to do something and then you do absolutely sod all about it? That was me. And so I decided, look, I set this goal, I haven't done it yet, so let's go and freaking do it. Yes. And if you YouTube it, it's actually under my old name, Rose Kirby, and rather than Rose Radford now. But the title of it was something like Why You Don't Make More Money, which obviously is very like clickbaity, because apparently that's a good tip for naming your TEDx. Name it a title that's kind of clickbaity, so when it's on YouTube, people will click it. But anyway, that was the guidance I got at the time, so I thought I'd share that on. And here's a really sneaky hack for TEDx's. Now, based on the fact that every TEDx is like kind of trusted in the same way, like if you've done a TEDx, you've done TEDx, whether that is at in London or in New York or wherever the heck you've done it, TEDx is a TEDx in many people's eyes. Just go and apply to your TEDx at your old university. You're alumni, they'll let you in. That is basically what I did. So I was at Bath University and I thought, well, they have a TEDx, cool, I'll drop them an application. And it's just so much easier because other TEDx places can be very, very competitive. And there's more people wanting slots and things, but universities typically obviously don't get loads of applications. So yeah, that's like be the best hack I'd say if you ever want to land a TEDx.
Oh my goodness, such a great hack. That is so, so cool. And definitely if you've been to university, try out what Rose has said, because I mean, how amazing would that be to be able to do a TEDx at your university? That would be so cool. So definitely try and look for your way in. So when you were on stage, how did you feel? Because I mean, this is a big thing. I mean, it's not, like you said, it's going to go viral in most cases. And yours obviously had a lot of views and traction and everything. How did you handle it when you knew that you were going to be speaking in front of potentially thousands, tens of thousands, or, you know, obviously one day it could be millions of people. So how did you handle that, the fear that came with that, or the nerves?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And I've got a bit of a funny story for you on this one. So speaking on the TEDx stage wasn't my first rodeo. I'd done speaking at school. I was one of those really geeky public speaking people at school, which is kind of hilarious. Good. And I do genuinely actually quite enjoy speaking. Now, the biggest fear I had for that TEDx was mind blanking, which is kind of weird because I've never mind blanked in my life. I've done a lot of drama, I've done stuff on stages and had a lot of fun with that, not professionally, just for fun. And for some reason I thought, I'm really scared I'm going to mind blank. And I didn't do what I should have done, which was to visualize having a really great TEDx, like totally nailing it, it all just coming out of my mouth beautifully, because obviously you've got to memorize your TEDx. So like mind blanking is obviously a high risk. And so, so I was really worried about this whole mind blank thing. And then I had my now fiance in the audience at the front with my script, just in case I mind blanked. Now, that is basically telling my subconscious, hey, Rose, it's okay if you mind blank, he's got you.
Yes.
And so lo and behold, about 2.5 minutes in, I forgot what I was meant to say next. And obviously it's mortifying, completely mortifying. And so I look to him and he prompts me with the wrong word, or at least I don't hear the right word. Yeah. So I'm then like spinning for another few seconds, which feels like eternity, but thankfully it's only a few seconds. Then it comes back to me finally, and then I can't carry on. And at that point, I knew that I had to really trust myself, that the next word was going to come, the next word was going to come, because otherwise I would have freaked myself out and then mind blanked again and mind blanked again. So I had to like take control back really quickly of my mindset. But yeah, that was a fun experience. So I'd say the biggest fear was the mind blanking thing, and then I went and freaking manifested the mind blank.
Oh my god, goodness. Yeah, that is definitely one of the and especially if it is a formal presentation, like this is not something where it's like, oh, you know, you get the chance to just sort of, if you're in flow and you're giving this presentation and you're speaking, or you're giving a speech and you're speaking, you're sharing your story or sharing, and then all of a sudden you stop. It's not the same as maybe comedy where you can just sort of do something or just be like, what was I saying again? You can always improvise. Or if it's a not so formal presentation. So the good news is there is grace. And like you said, it's about trusting yourself and trusting your belief that your mind will bring the answer. Everyone listening right now is probably thinking, thank you for sharing that, Rose, because now I know I don't have to be so afraid of doing a TEDx talk.
Yes, absolutely. If you mind blank, don't worry. Most people didn't actually notice that I'd mind blanked, but I was obviously seriously aware of it.
Yeah, you were aware of it, but like you said, it's only for like a few seconds, and then you're just good. So yeah, definitely. So what tips would you give to somebody that would love to, maybe they're in that stage where they're just heading into the maybe 20K months, 30, 40, whatever it's 50K months, but they've plateaued, and maybe they've got to a point where they're thinking, do you know what, this is never going to happen for me. I've just always been at this sort of level where I've always tried to break through and start earning that 6-figure salary, or the salary that will lead them to having 6 figures by the end of the year. But they're thinking, you know, there's no point, I might as well just give up because I've been trying this for so long. What would you say? What shifts can they work on? What mind shifts do they need to have? Or what 3 things could they do to really push through to get the results?
Yeah, I love that question. I think from a mindset perspective, it's also always worth asking yourself, if you've got a very specific goal, let's say whether it's make a 50K month or it's lose weight or whatever it is that you've set that goal, asking yourself, if you haven't achieved that yet, why is it that you don't really want that? Why is it that you begrudge that? Why is it that you're scared of that? Like what's actually happening almost in like a subconscious level that's holding you back from actually getting it? Because sometimes we don't allow that little voice to speak up and say, actually, Rose, you don't really want it because what if you have to pay more tax? Or like, what if you, so I don't know, some other crazy idea that your brain is like, no, that's not safe. We can't do that. We cannot do that. Exactly. And so from a mindset perspective, checking in first to see like, where's the resistance coming up to actually achieving that goal from a mindset perspective. And then the second thing, which is kind of more simpler, but sometimes people don't actually do this, is to look at how could let's say consistent 50K months, how could that look in your business? What do you need to sell? What the price points need to be? Have you got the lead generation coming in? Are you bottlenecking your sales because you're doing all the sales calls yourself? Do you need help there? It's all those sorts of things. Actually, from a strategy perspective, are you even set up to create a 50K month right now? And often the answer is no. There's always going to be a gap if you're not there yet.
I definitely hear you. Definitely. You know, I think that I would describe you as inspirational, motivational, and I think, I don't know if the word is systematic, but there's something about your business that comes across as systematic, or whether it's like, I don't know what word it is, but there's something around that. How would you describe yourself in 3 words, or your brand in 3 words?
I don't think I can do 3 words. That's so unfair. I would agree with you. Systematic is very, very true. I like to turn things into a system. It might be kind of quite a masculine structure in the business, and then it allows me to flow around that and things like that. It's a really nice balance, I find. But I would say the things that are kind of around my brand would be expertise. I'm really, really committed to always being better and learning better and doing better and bringing real expertise to the industry as well. Systematic, I'll take that one. I'll definitely take that one. And I'll also take silly. I'm a little bit silly. So as much as I am systematic, strategic, full of expertise, I'm also very silly. And I think that is really important in business because you've got to have fun at the end of the day as well. It's got to be joyful. Exactly. And my version of joy is just being a bit silly.
I love it. I think being silly is so important, definitely. Like I used to always say, because people used to always say, oh, you need to be on social media and you need to, some people would say things like, don't share your personal business. You've got to be really, really, like you've got to keep your personal business to yourself and just focus on your business. And then some people would say that, so there was some people be saying, you know, keep it business. And then even entrepreneurs would sometimes say like, I don't do anything personal on social media. It's all about my business. And I used to think I'm on social media to have fun. I'm there to actually socialize, it's not about my business only. And so I like the idea of just having fun. And, you know, on Instagram, I used to dance like every day on my stories. I mean, now we have reels and stuff. So obviously there are different ways to do it. We've got TikTok, but back in the day, I used to just dance and people used to just come and just laugh and just be like, this girl is just so funny. She's so silly. So I do love anything hilarious. And I think that's what entrepreneurs need to have more of. They need to be silly. They need to have more fun, because that alone, like that being too stiff and too tense and too serious, that's just the best way to kill your business vibes. It's the best way to kill just the idea of scaling, basically, because no fun equals no flow. There's not going to be any inspiration, and it's going to be just harder.
Yeah, I totally agree. And we can make business too serious sometimes. And then if it's too serious, it's not fun. We kind of hate the business a little bit. One of the things that's really powerful to do actually is press that reset button for yourself by going away, even if it's just for 3 days. I know sometimes leaving a business as an entrepreneur for 3 days is a bit terrifying, but going away, doing something different for a couple of days and then coming back and then always filtering through all the activities you're about to do for the next, like, let's say 2 weeks. How much of them actually bring you joy and which ones you're like, oh crap, I really don't want to do that. It feels really annoying or not very joyful, or you're in resistance to it. And that gives you a really good idea of what are the things you're just going through the motions with and not really enjoying, but you're still feeling like you have to do. And then also, what are the things that bring you joy? And it's quite a nice opportunity to then like really look at it all again.
That is such a good tip, just really having that time to, like you said, have a reset, go away and just look at everything with new, fresh eyes. I think we all need to do that, especially with this pandemic. All of us need to. I saw you got away recently. Was it Scotland that you went away?
Yes, I was sailing in Scotland, which was super cool, very new. I'd never done it before. So it was really nice to, do something different on a holiday.
Amazing. That's so good. Okay, so I do have another question, and I'm definitely going to be wrapping up shortly. So, but I just don't want you to go. I'm like, stay. But the question I do want to ask you is around team members, because to have a business that scales, we definitely need really good team members. And so, who are the 1 or 2 team members that you have hired? Not necessarily their names, but more to do with the roles that have made the biggest difference in your business so far.
Yeah, I would say hiring my VA that I'm now still working with 2 years later was obviously huge. And I don't call her my VA. She's my right-hand woman. She's like top-notch right-hand woman, and she's fantastic. So we actually, the two of us run the business pretty much together anyway. And then in terms of the other pieces I have in the business and the team, we have somebody that's on marketing. So that's outsourced to an agency right now. I can do all the stuff that they do for me, but I've decided actually outsourcing that. So I got a bit of time back, makes a lot of sense. So we're doing that at the moment. And then I've got a couple of people that are in my Instagram DMs helping me keep on top of those, for instance. And that's pretty much it. I can't think of anybody else at this point. So really, I like having a very lean team. Oh, the other people would be the co-coaches in my programs. So people that are doing additional support for my clients, I also have those, but they don't obviously run my business with me. So actually running the business I have right now at this multi-6-figure level hasn't required a huge team, but it has required people that are really good at what they do. And it has required me to be a very good leader for those people to get the most out of them. And so there's a lot to be said for that. I think a lot of entrepreneurs miss out on, because you really want to stay, if you're a coach, you really like doing the client delivery, for instance, and the whole idea of managing a team might feel kind of new and overwhelming, but really stepping into your leadership with that is very powerful.
Amazing. So great. Oh my goodness. So as we wrap up, I would love to ask, what is next for you on your journey? Because I know that you have so many amazing things that you want to do. So what can we expect over the next 6 months? Because we have between now and the end of the year. But then also, what could we look forward to in the next few years? Because as the pandemic hopefully lifts and begins to fade away, and as opportunities arise over the next 2 or 3 years, what do you think you'd love to do in your business and in life in general?
Oh, such a great question. So for me, over the next 6 months, it's really just focusing on scaling. We've got 2 fantastic offers that work really well. We've got fantastic lead generation. There's pieces on the sales that are really, like, so much of it's working well right now. So it's like, okay, let's scale this. Whether it's gently and slowly or like all in one go, I'm not sure. I haven't figured that one out yet. It's been a wild 2 months, the last 2 months. Part of me might be like, okay, let's just like settle for a moment. But yeah, really beginning to lead into how far can we take this in terms of the impact that I want to be able to make in the world and the clients that I want to be able to serve. So that's really exciting for me right now. And in terms of like the next couple of years, I'd say 2 things. Number 1, I'd love to double down on the speaking opportunities again. I feel like that's been quite quiet with COVID. So getting in on more stages would be really, really fun, and sharing more of my expertise on stage. And then the second would probably be trialing out living elsewhere. I feel like I've seen a lot of London recently. It's time to see another part of the world again.
Yeah, oh my goodness, that sounds so good. Speaking is so powerful. You can never go wrong with that because you're always making that impact. And then, like you said, I mean, going to live in a different part of the world could be a game changer. And, you know, sometimes we stay so much in our comfort zone, and that is sometimes an issue in itself with growth, like what you were saying about traveling and just getting away for a bit and coming back. And I think sometimes people just need to actually leave their environment full stop and try somewhere new, even if whether that's for an adventure or whether that is to do with them really just allowing themselves to live the life they truly want to live.
Yeah, it's so exciting to be able to think when you're running an online business, you get to make these really exciting decisions of getting to live elsewhere. So yeah, we're playing with a couple of options right now, and we'll probably make a move at the end of this year, more towards autumn. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rose. If you have anything else you want to share, please go ahead, because this has been so lovely and wonderful, and I want everyone to be able to follow you and find all the juicy goods.
Absolutely. So I am also on YouTube. More than welcome to go check me out there. I'm just Rose Radford. And then I do also have a free training that teaches you how to launch and scale a high ticket group coaching program and sell it on Evergreen. And that is literally just roseradford.com/step-up. And you'll be able to get access to that free training right there.
Awesome. So everyone, are you ready to step up? Because I think that's what we all need to do. We've just gained some amazing tips from Rose on how we can do that. So you're here on my show, Tea and Talks with Queen Chioma, and I'm so delighted to have interviewed you, Rose. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all your words of wisdom. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. Let us know what you think about it. Drop a comment below. Be sure to follow Rose, find out what she's up to, and make sure you also make sure you let us know, what are your 1 or 2 takeaways? What will you implement? What will you put into practice? Because to get great results, you need to be taking great action. So thank you so much once again. I'll see you all for another episode of Tea and Talks very soon. God bless. Bye.